Chatterer from Hellraiser, Origin Explained. The Hellraiser universe has never ceased to amaze the fans with its unique brand of repulsive horror. The demented world of cenobites created by Clive Barker spawned an entire franchise, and there has never been a shortage of twisted hell creatures led by the likes of Pinhead. There is no denying that the franchise has stumbled upon mediocrity every now and then, but the charm of these iconic cenobites has never taken a backseat. As the viewers get a peek into the world of the Labyrinth, it gets more and more sinister, especially with the introduction of some unique sadistic cenobites. These extra-dimensional creatures belong to an entirely different realm, and their only access to Earth's reality is via some portals that can be opened using a few unearthly artifacts, such as the Lament Configuration. We have previously explored some of the most terrifying cenobites out there, and today we will be adding one more to the list. In this video, we dive deep into the dark world of Chatterer, the Angel of Suffering, also known as Jim. His unholy antics are enough to send a shiver down your spine, and we will tell you all there is to know about this cenobite, from the comic series and the Hellraiser franchise.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Who is Chatterer? The Chatterer has appeared in the comic series, and he was also seen in the original Hellraiser franchise. He was referred to as Hell's right-hand man, and his character was portrayed as the muscle power in Pinhead's gash. However, prior to his life as a cenobite, the Chatterer had a rather tragic life. As a human, Jim was sent to an orphanage after he framed his mother for the murder of his abusive father. Life in the orphanage wasn't kind to him at all, and he along with the other young people there were taught that life was absolutely meaningless. Eventually, he took to a life of prostitution, but his sole desire deep within his heart was to be loved. He was appreciated for his physical appearance, and thus, he also wished to be ugly, so that the one loving him wouldn't love him for his looks alone. One of his clients handed him the Lament Configuration, and he began his journey serving the god of pain and desire. He started distributing Lament Configurations to several people, and even gave one to his old lover Seth. After Seth leaves without opening the puzzle box, Jim is finally granted his desire. The god of pain and desire disfigured him beyond recognition, and he was transformed into his cenobite form, the Chatterer. His initial appearance showed no distinct facial features because his face was simply covered in a mass of burned skin. His mouth was stretched open using 8 hooks that dug deep into the sides of his mouth, and they stretched to the torn flesh on the back of his head. He also had terrible cuts on his stomach, chest, and back. He became the second lieutenant to the Hell Priest Pinhead and remained a child of misery who never truly got what he desired. He could only indulge in unimaginable pain, and the only expression of his eternal solitude was the chattering sound that came from his teeth. However, he was a loyal servant to Pinhead, and his skills in the manipulation of flesh were duly noted. He became a crucial member of the Pinhead gash and had the opportunity to torture Janice Bauer, the famous actress. She had declined a role from a director, but the latter gave her a Lament Configuration and asked her to create the shape of pain using the puzzle box. This was supposed to be a simple acting exercise, but Janice got deeper and deeper into this messy world of hell. Finally, she solved the Lament Configuration, and after ending up in hell, she was tortured by Chatterer, Pinhead, and the others. It is shown that she kept performing as an actress, but her life was now under hell's influence. When Alistair's gash organized the jihad that threatened the balance of hell, Chatterer helped Pinhead in defeating him and restoring order. Chatterer in the Hellraiser timeline. Chatterer has been seen in a lot of Hellraiser movies, and is second only to Pinhead in terms of the cinematic appearances of cenobites. After Kirsty solved the Lament Configuration a second time in order to ward off the engineer, she ended up summoning Pinhead's gash. Chatterer was one of the first cenobites to appear, and he shoved his fingers down her throat to prevent her from screaming. He kept her restrained while she made a deal with Pinhead to help the cenobites recapture Frank. Again, after Frank was ripped apart and sent back to hell, Kirsty realized that the cenobites weren't going to keep true to their word. Thus, she solved the Lament Configuration again and sent Pinhead and the female cenobite back to hell. Just as Chatterer was about to strike her dead, she solved the puzzle box one more time and sent him back as well. In another Hellraiser movie, Kirsty revealed the past human life of the cenobites to them. This brought back some emotional memories, and Dr. Cenobite appeared in the nick of time to go after Kirsty and Tiffany. Pinhead, Chatterer, and a few others stood up against the Chenard Cenobite, but the latter proved to be too strong. Chatterer was killed as he tried to defend Kirsty Cotton. Even after his death, the legacy of this supreme cenobite was intact. New types of cenobites, such as the torso cenobite, were created, which had similar characteristics, just to ensure that the Chatterer's likeness lived on. The Chatterer's revival, back from the dead. While the movies left him for dead, a recently released Clive Barker Hellraiser comic brought him back to life. After almost 20 years since his death, Pinhead shed blood on the site of his death and revived the Chatterer and the female Cenobite. He was back to his old form and joined Pinhead's gash yet again. However, Pinhead betrayed him in order to gain back his former human life, and we see the Chatterer being torn apart by some hooked chains. It turned out that even his revival was short-lived, and he died a rather painful death yet again. New Hellraiser movie and TV series announced. There is some good news for all the Hellraiser fans out there, because there is a movie coming in the near future. It is being produced by David S. Goyer, and although he hasn't revealed much about the project, some information has spilled out. It has been revealed that Jamie Clayton is going to play the role of Pinhead. This will be the first time that a woman will play Pinhead, and the producer has stated that this film will look to honor Clive Barker's original novella in a violent, R-rated way. There is also word of an HBO TV series being released, and the series will explore the story of the Cenobite. Clive Barker himself will be a part of this project as an executive editor, and he was delighted by the idea that the stories were heading back to their roots. There hasn't been an exact release date announced yet, but in all likelihood we're going to see it sometime this year.
And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.